डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन युनिव्हर्सिटी.
Namaskar, dear students. I, Assistant Professor Dharmistha Patel, School of Computer Science, welcome you from Chaitanya Studio, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad. We are lecture series Postgraduate Diploma in Cyber Law PGDCL, subject E-commerce, E-governance and E-contract. Today we will start discuss block 1 e-commerce in the unit 2. In last lecture discuss about this chapter, we have studied the historical development and conceptual framework of e-commerce. Now today's agenda is a types of e-commerce and regulatory framework of e-commerce. Now discuss the types of e-commerce. Types of e-commerce. One way classifying e-commerce is based on parties involved in the transaction. Major types are mentioned below. First one is a business to business, B2B, business to customers, B2C, consumer to consumer, C2C, and government to business and government to citizen, G2C. Now discuss the one by one. Business to business. Business to business on the internet, B2B, also known as a biz and e-biz, and is defined as the exchange of products, services or information between businesses, such as between a manufacturer and a wholesaler, or between a wholesaler and a retailer. Business to business transaction and large corporate accounts are commonplace for firms in manufacturing. Samsung, for example, is one of the Apple's largest supplier in the production of the iPhone. Apple also holds B2B relationship with the firms like Intel, Panasonic and semiconductor producer in Micron Technology. Now business to consumer. Business to consumer is a transaction that occurs between a company and a consumer. The term may also describe a company that provides goods or services for consumer. For example, Amazon, Google, Facebook, etc. And consumer to consumer. Consumer to consumer electronic commerce involves electronically facilitated transaction between consumers through some third party. A common example is an online auction in which a consumer posts an item for sale and other consumers bid to purchase it, and third party generally charges or flat fee or commission. Now government to business. Government to business is a business model that refers the government providing services or information to business organization. The government uses the B2G model website to approach business organizations. Such websites support auction, tenders and application submission functionalities. Example, government procurement, electronic auction, sending filled out electronic forms. Example, tax form or social insurance form. Now government to citizen, G2C, is a term that refers to the relationships between organization subject or public administration and a citizen. The designation can be used for any relationship between the subject of public administration and the citizen. Most often it is used as the one of the basic relationship within e-government models. The initiative comes from a federal organization and citizen are the target group. These types of e-commerce is based on parties involved in the transaction. Now, another way of classifying e-commerce is based on whether the internet is used or other electronic devices are used for transactions. On the basis, we can classifying them as first one is a not internet based e-commerce, non-internet based e-commerce, internet based e-commerce, and m-commerce. Now discuss the not non-internet based e-commerce. There are many electronic devices other than the internet which is used for the purpose of e-commerce. For example, barcode machines, vending machine, telephone and telegraphs, fax, television, standalone computers, computer networks. In the EDI and uh, SCM, chain management, uh, transaction made through the devices mentioned here are easy to understand except the use of computer network for electronic data interchange, and a discussion on EDI follows. The electronic data interchange, this is the business business to business type of e-commerce. EDI is the computer to computer exchange of structured businesses information in standard electronic format. Information stored in one computer is translated by software programs into standard EDI format for transmission to one or more trading partners. Trading partners' computer in turn translate the information using software programs into a form they can understand. There is no human involvement in the processing of the information. EDI was developed in the 1960s. However, only in the 1980s, a wide range of industries started using this technique. Organizing adopting GIT, just in time purchasing, may be much benefit if they adopt EDI. With the help of EDI, the supplier constantly gets the information on the stock position of the customers online. On the basis such information, the uh, supplier can supply goods just in time. Let us suppose that a chicken farm has many outlets in city which sells variety of chicken based product. If the main office has a computer network with EDI facility with its outlet, and it can easily monitor the stock position of the outlets. Whenever the stock position of a particular item in a outlet reaches reorder level, the main office computer will automatically initiate the reorder process. Thus, it reduces time and expense of the paperwork. And supply chain management as a part of internal e-commerce. Supply chain management is a landmark concept in inventory management. GIT, inventory management, is no doubt beneficially, but still it is only part of overall supply chain management. On the other hand, SCM is an integrated approach which involves supplier management, inventory management, distribution management, and payment management. A supply chain management considered that instead of treating this as a separate function, a holistic view is needed. Organizations are experiencing that if they have to respond to the needs of a fast changing world, cross function integration and use of information communication technology is a must. All the functions is a supply chain management are done electronically. Supply chain management software solution are also available in the market. Now let us discuss the internet based e-commerce. Is a I-commerce. By internet e-commerce, we mean the use of the global internet and world wide web (WW) for commerce. With the advent of internet and website, world wide web is a over all pervasive communication tools. The scope of e-commerce has increased manifold. At present, it is the most powerful distribution channel amongst all the channels. For this reason, the term e-commerce has become synonymous with the term of e-commerce. In the forthcoming paragraphs, we will use two terms alternately. In this context, a basic idea about e-commerce website is essential. Now discuss mobile e-commerce, m-commerce. M-commerce refers to sales transaction using mobile devices such as a smartphones and tablets. It includes mobile shopping, banking, and payments. Chatbots facilitate M-commerce, letting consumer complete transaction via voice or text conversion. Now discuss the topic is a regulatory framework of e-commerce under IT Act 2000. In two types, Untitled Model Law on E-commerce and the Information Technology Act 2000 and e-commerce. Now first one is a Untitled Model Law on e-commerce. Untitled Model Law on E-commerce. Untitled is a United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, established by United Nations in 1966 to harmonize the law of international trade. It is a core legal body of United Nations systems that works to create accessible, predictable, and unified commercial laws. Untitled created model law on electronic commerce in 1996 to enhance the use of paperless communication. In 2001, it created model law on electronic signatures. Future electronic commerce work will focus on the electronic contracting with a view to creating a draft convention, online dispute settlement, dematerialize of documents of title, and convention to remove legal barriers to the development of e-commerce in international trade instrument. Now discuss is second one is the Information Technology Act 2000 and e-commerce. In India, e-commerce falls within the preview for Information Technology Act 2000. It legally recognizes all corresponds by electronic mail the information in an electronic form with an electronic signature. The electronic is certified by the controller. It also recognizes application and approval done in electronic format for niceness permits and at her documents pertaining to government department. In addition, it also makes hacking, download, copy, extract, damage of electronic files data liable for punishment. The Information Technology Act 2000 is based on the model law on e-commerce adopted by the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, UNCITRAL, and Pioneering Committee, enabling legislation such as a Digital Signature Act 1995, the Singapore Electronic Transaction Act 1999, and the Malaysian Electronic Signature Act. The main objective behind the introduction IT Act 2000 to encourage the environment in which the laws are simple, transparent, in which the advantages of e-commerce can be tapped. The Act aims to provide legal recognition for the transactions carried out by the means of electronic data interchange and other mean of communications commonly referred to as electronic commerce, which involve the use of alternative paper-based method of the communication and storage of information to facilitate electronic filing of document with the government agencies. The Act comprised three significant aspects of e-commerce. The first one is a legal recognition of electronic records and communications. In the legal contractual framework, inventory aspects digital signature as the method of authentication, rule for determining time and place of dispatch and receipt of electronic records. Second one is a regulation of certification authority. Is is the appoint of controller of CAs, the grant of a license to CA duties, subscriber of digital signature certificate recognition for foreign CAs. Third one is a cyber contraventions. Cyber contraventions in the civil and criminal violation penalties and the establishing of the authority and cyber regulatory appellate tribunals. As the act establish the legal validity and enforceability of the digital signature and electronic records, as well as the secure digital signature and secure electronic records, it will be will enable to growth of e-commerce in India, because the secure computer based signature will, first one is a minimize the incidence of electronic forgeries enabled and foster authentication of computerized communications, and third one is a facilitating commerce by means of electronic communications. Further, electronic filling of records and retention of information in electronic format enabled by the IT Act 2000 will help in the saving cost, time and manpower for the corporate by virtue of the recognition given to electronic records, electronic documents, and electronic signature. Consequential amendments have been made in some existing law. The Act amends Indian Penal Code 1860 and the Indian Evidence Act 1872, Bankers Book Evidence Act 1891, and therewith and incidentally thereto. The main purpose of this amendment is to address the related issue of electronic commerce, electronic crimes, and uh, evidence, and to enable further regulation as regards to electronic fund transfer. In this lecture, we have studied the types of e-commerce and along with the regulatory framework under the Information Technology Act 2000. In the end, I hope you are understand this topic.
स्वाध्यायः परमः